Hey y'all. I hate my little weight, but hey y'all, it's Crystal, and I just wanted to come on here to speak about a few things. I ain't been on here since I think like May. Just having two babies who's about to turn 3 and 2 at the same time, that's very hectic. Plus working, that's very hectic. But I really like YouTube, so I am trying to incorporate that into my schedule, making videos and making good videos. So I still most definitely have my tics. The last tic that I spoke about was the one that sounded like a fire alarm that needed batteries. This, so embarrassing, but this one, I still do it, and it gets louder and louder and louder, and oh my gosh, I have terrible indigestion. So I'm doing that, I'm making that noise, and it really works my throat out. So pause. But it really like puts a lot of pressure. It's doing a lot with my throat. Like, you can see it. You see that? So I'm gonna tell you how the indigestion ties into it. Is it acid reflux or whatever? I know I have acid reflux too, so I feel it in my throat. I feel a lot of how do I describe it? Like my food feels like it wants to rise back up. Basically, that's what I'm feeling. So whenever I go like that, and then I'm also feeling all of that stuff from whatever I just ate, it's a lot. It makes it worse. It puts a lot on my throat or my trachea, I think. I don't know. But it puts a lot of pressure right here. And my daughters are starting to do it too. They're starting to do it a lot more. So that's just something that worries me most definitely, because when you see your parents doing something, a lot of the times you're gonna do it too. Like, children copy their parents and their behaviors, and they do what their parents do a lot of the times. So I know these tics can be passed down genetically, but I'm like, if they don't have, I would love that I didn't give it to them. But if they don't have it, I don't want it to become such a habit, like, of them copying my tics, that they actually start doing it. And I'm not sure of the science behind the tics, but I just don't want it to become something that's habitual. Hearing that I do it all the time and seeing that I do it all the time. And whenever I say seeing my tics, I mean the winking tics. I'm telling you a little story. Okay, I'm back in my living room because the cars was kind of loud outside. So I still have a tic where I wink like that. Like, literally, before I take pictures, if I'm not in a huge hurry, like if I'm not with somebody who, like a celebrity who I gotta snap this picture really quick, or with somebody who has to take one picture and then leave, before I take selfies, I have to go like this. I have to take pictures literally like this. I don't know. And I wink also without taking the pictures. But me bringing out a camera triggers it. I'm sure I have to take like 10 or 12 pictures. It's very time consuming. Then I'm able to take my regular selfies. After I've done got through like taking the series of photos where I'm just winking, and then I'm finally doing my regular selfies, I still have to wink. I still have to take pictures like that, like in between. The urge is strong, and I know my daughters see that. So here's the little story I wanted to tell. On Thanksgiving, we were out of town So it was nice. That was a change in like tradition, because I've always spent Thanksgiving in my hometown. And after I just stopped recording just now, and I had to make my little tick, but anyways, and the tick was this. So yeah, I was with my in-laws, and my mother-in-law had my little baby, and I think my mother-in-law was feeding her something. She asked my baby a question, and then my baby looked at her like this. We just bust out laughing because it was funny. Like, she rolled her eyes, but I knew it looked too forced, way too forced. And before that even happened at the house, my daughters both started doing that. Maybe like a few weeks before the trip, like at random times, just going like. And little fact, that's one of my first ticks that I remember. Whenever I was like a young girl, like 6 or 5, that's whenever my ticks started, as far as what I can remember. But yeah, they started doing that, so I knew that they were copying me. Anyways, I asked her if she knew what Tourette's was, and then she said yes, because they thought one of their family members had it, because he would just have random moments of shouting. He just had a lot of energy, so they knew it wasn't Tourette's. But I explained to her that I had it. I said, well, I have it. And I explained to her the story about my nephew. I found out what Tourette's was, and immediately I just knew I had it. So my nephew, he started to actually tick. And my sister thought he was just being silly. And I told her, I know I'm not a doctor, guys, but I told her, I really do feel like he has something called Tourette's. She didn't really believe me. Understandable. I'm not a doctor. I get it. But she ended up taking him to the doctor. And lo and behold, he was diagnosed with Tourette's. So I just knew I had it. I know I have it. Like, seeing it, hearing about it, I've been dealing with it all my life. I never went to the doctor about it. I guess my family thought I was just being silly too. So they never, and I knew how to hide it. So it didn't become a real issue. But I would still tick. I would still catch people's attention with my random ticks. But yeah, it didn't become a huge issue. It was a bad issue with me because I couldn't really focus like that. But yeah, to everybody else, it didn't really affect people. So I never went to the doctor about it because of that reason. But yeah, I explained that story to her, and I say, I have Tourette's, and then she was like, no you don't. And then I said, I promise you I do, I just know how to hide it. So we had that little conversation, and then I told her, basically, I feel like, and that was a tick just now, y'all, that I do that. See, it's so freaking second nature. I forget that the things I'm doing are ticks. It's just like natural. It's still annoying, but it's natural. It's annoying to me, but it's natural. But anyways, let's get back to the story. Dang, what was I saying? Basically, I feel like Brooklyn, my baby, she didn't roll her eyes at you. It really was just her looking at you. She was focused and just did that. Because I do it randomly. So, and I do it a lot of the times whenever I'm fixated on something, physically or mentally. Like if I'm really focused on something, if I'm doing something that's very tedious or that makes me nervous, I do it. So I told her, I was like, I really think that was a tick. Like, I don't think she was rolling her eyes at you. She was like, I get it, but that was too on cue. Which it could have been. It could have been my baby rolling her eyes at her. Most definitely. Me and my heart of hearts, I feel like it was a tick, honestly. To me, because it seemed too forced. But I don't know. She could have been rolling her eyes. I just strongly feel like it was a tick because, I mean, my baby is 1, so that attitude kind of comes whenever they turn about 8 or 9. she doesn't really understand rolling her eyes. Now, my 2-year-old does. That's another story. It was just a cute little story I had wanted to tell. So, my babies are most definitely copying me. I am now. I want to look into some treatment, and I've been saying this, but since they're not about to start school, but I know that they will eventually go around other kids. I know they will start school eventually and be with amongst other children. I just want to figure out if there's some type of way that I could better control my tics, just so it doesn't affect them. I don't really want them to get picked on. That's just my concern. I'm very afraid of that. I'm trying not to focus on it too much. It's an insecurity of mine. But I don't know. I can't help but to be nervous and scared. Like, what if they do it at school and then they really can't help it, because it's such a habit of them to make these tics, and like other kids pick on them. You know what? These days I've just been learning to, whenever I get like that, because I could overthink very fast and create such a huge issue before something even happens. So I'm just learning to just give things to God, and because me worrying about it, I know isn't going to help anything. No, it's not going to stop anything. But yeah, I definitely want to go into treatment anyways, because even though I've dealt with it all my life, I feel like I feel like if I didn't have my tics, I definitely would be able to focus more, because my tics definitely take a lot of my focus. It's crazy because it's like, if I don't do them, I can't focus. And still, if I do them, it's still hard for me to focus, because say if I'm taking a test and it's a bunch of people in the room, it's supposed to be quiet. I'm trying to focus on not ticking so that I don't disturb other people. So it's definitely a hindrance in my life. If I could control it better, it would help me, period. I know it would. So I most definitely am going to look into getting treatment, because I just want to be the best mom that I could be, the best person that I could be. If I could get help with it, mine as well, because it definitely is an issue. Even though I've dealt with it all my life, I feel like I could just become a better me, learning to control it. I just wanted to give a little update. I have a couple of videos that I would like to react to, because I have seen some crazy things. I've heard some crazy things from people about Tourette's. So, yeah. But yeah, I got to go now. I like, comment, and subscribe, and I love y'all. And please remember to be a blessing in somebody else's life. Like Tabitha Brown say, dang, what does she say? And just because you're having a bad day, don't you dare go and mess up anybody else's. You hear? All right, I love y'all.